So if you're starting a business or you already operate a business, in my opinion, it's good to look professional in your business. I think there are some cases where maybe it makes sense not to present yourself as professionally, but generally speaking, I think it is good to have a nice professional image. And so in this video, I just wanted to give a few tips on how to present yourself more professionally as a business and as a business owner. And most of these tips just come to how you're presenting yourself online with digital marketing and websites and things like that. But so the first tip is to get what's called a favicon for your website. So I see this pretty regularly where someone will build a website for their business through WordPress or Squarespace or something like that, and they don't have a favicon. So that favicon is like the little icon for your business that shows up when you bookmark your business page or when you open it up and you look at the tabs at the top of the browser. So if you have your business website built with WordPress or with Wix or Squarespace, typically it'll just take that default favicon of those platforms and use that as your favicon. And to me, it just doesn't look good. Not that it looks bad, it just looks like you don't pay attention to detail and you haven't taken the time to use your own favicon instead of the website building platform's default favicon. And so typically that's pretty easy to change depending on the platform. You can just use your business logo or whatever it may be and replace the default favicon with yours. The next tip is to get a custom email address with your custom domain. So in my case, I have magnaltis.com. My email address is info@magnaltis.com rather than, magnaltisconsulting@gmail or at Hotmail or at ProtonMail or something like that. So I think it just looks more professional as a business to have not only a custom domain, but have your email tied to that custom domain. Another tip is to have a signature for your emails. Now that doesn't have to be like a literal signature. I just mean an email signature that comes at the end of your emails where it has your name, your title, your business name, maybe a link to your website, your phone number, things like that. I think especially when you're sending an initial email to a person you haven't contacted before, if you don't have a signature, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look professional. It's harder for them to take you seriously or identify who you are, especially these days with so many different like scam emails. A lot of times I'll get ones that don't have like a professional looking signature. And to me, that's one of the signs that it's maybe not a real person or maybe just some spam that I shouldn't take seriously. So not too difficult, but something that will make you look more professional. The next tip I have for looking more professional, at least online, is to create a Google business profile. So this can be done pretty easily as well. And in some cases, I don't recommend it. Depends on the nature of the business. But for a lot of businesses, especially those that have like a physical facility and want customers and clients and the general public to know where they are, really important to have a Google business profile and fill that out. Have your hours, have your phone number, have your website, have some pictures, have different things like that. It just gives you a more professional and more credible online presence and image. The next tip I have, and this is just kind of a small nitpicky one, is put capital letters on your name. I've seen this before where people will send me an email and their whole name is lowercase letters. And I mean, it's not a big deal, but your name should be capitalized, first name and last name. Just looks more professional, digitally when you're sending emails and whatnot. Another tip is to get a nice business card. I know some people don't like business cards or don't use business cards or just use digital business cards. But I think it's useful and it's nice just to have like a good looking professional business card and make sure you have the appropriate information on those cards, your contact information, your name, a link to your website, your email, things like that. And then the last tip I have, also related to just your digital online presence, is to proofread your work. So in the case of a website, if you have write-ups about you or your business or your services, have that proofread and maybe don't do it yourself all the time. Ask someone who's good at that and who likes doing that and who's picky. I see a lot of websites where I can tell that whoever wrote, the content for the website doesn't have great spelling or grammar or didn't proofread it, and it just looks unprofessional. And these days with technology, there's different spell check options that you can use as well. I like to use read aloud software where if I write something, I'll get it read out loud just by my computer. And sometimes it just looks a lot more professional if you have it proofread. So those are my tips for looking more professional. So if this video was useful, please click like and feel free to check out my YouTube channel here where I currently have over 260 videos that cover business management and business startup topics.